good. So in the chat, if you can let me know who you are, where you're from, where you're watching from, that would be great. I will just make sure that everything is set up here and we're ready to go. Okay, hopefully you can see it in the chat. Cool, how are we doing, guys? As you're coming in. Feeling for some reason you can't chat. Cool, welcome if you're just joining us. Okay, chat disabled, good to know. Thanks for that, lads. Let me just figure that out. We're going to be going in a couple of minutes, lads. Cool, welcome if you're just joining us, guys. Hope you're really good. Right, I think that we should have unlocked it. Hello, test. Fucking software. Boom, we're in. Who says a Royal Marine can't solve a problem? Cool, all right. Good, good, good. Yeah, thanks for introducing yourselves, guys. It's good to see all of you coming through. Thanks for your patience. Cool, we're flying through. We've got loads of lads on tonight. Great to see, great to see. Good to see you all. So we've got lads who are members. We've got lads who are on our 7-day trial. We've got lads who have registered and signed up to join in with us. So we've got people who are working with me, people not working with me, people doing a trial with us. So hopefully we can really give you a good evening of content. For some, it would be a learning experience. For some, it would be a nice recap for the start of the year. All right, so let's crack on. So cool. So thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year to you, first and foremost. I don't know about you, but I am mega happy that we had now done all of that Christmas, New Year stuff, had a really good time, and we're getting back to routine. I am a guy that functions purely on routine, structure, and systems, and I think that's probably just stemmed into me from the military. What about you guys? Do you feel like you are happy that you're back into routine now, trying to find your feet? Probably some speed bumps to overturn, right, to get over. Just kind of like undoing some of the lazy habits that we meet. All right. But I'm really enjoying building this up. So for those that don't know me fully, my name's James Boardman. So I'm a former Royal Marine Commando. I'm now the CEO and the founder of the Man Coach, and we help men right across the planet lead themselves to lead those that are around them, their family, their connections, their career, their business, their health, whatever it might be that they need to lead. Okay. I have been going through processes and systems and strategies to help men to be able to lead themselves. And it all stemmed off the back of me having to go through a bit of hardship myself. I say a lot. So for 3 years, when I left the military, I massively broke down. I lost my reason to, my purpose, my reason to be the best version of myself, to lead myself. And I lost all purpose from the military. And I went through this transition of identity, of not really knowing who I was, and faced huge, monumental hardship, real tough hardship. And over the years, I suffocated underneath that hardship, and I realized that now. And even though I had gone through Royal Marine training, even though I've been to Afghanistan, even though I've gone through arduous physical training and sniper training, and I've been in that place where hardship is around me, when I left that military and I left that environment, the reality was that hardship was the thing that like crippled me, suffocated me, and I ended up drowning in it. So for me, it's really, really important to be able to handle hardship, manage hardship, understand hardship, be aware of hardship, and be able to construct and build a life so that we can handle it better, so that it doesn't handle us, so that we don't become over emotional, so that we don't overthink, so that we don't become overwhelmed. Because when those things happen, we tend to become really, really triggered, right? In terms of our happiness, in terms of our decision making, in terms of our direction, in terms of our connections with the people we love our most. And I don't think you can fully comprehend, or you can fully deal with, or fully block out hardship. I think there's always going to be an element of it that creeps into your life, but we can flick that switch inside of our head, right? That allows us to be able to manage better. So I'm going to take you through a cycle that we've got going on here, okay, and take you through this training. Just a couple of things to make the training better for you. If you want to make notes, then please do make notes. Just turn your phones off. If you've got earpieces in, put them in. Now and then might end up going off on a tangent, which usually means I'll end up swearing a bit. And if your wife or your kids are around, I would hate for them to listen to that, okay? I'll try and keep it as clean as possible. If there are any questions, I'll open up opportunities as we go through to answer any questions. I'd love your engagement. So if things make sense to you, please come back to me and let me know that they make sense, right? We're going to go through, the way that we're going to go through this is how to build up our state of mind to handle hardship. We're going to look at discipline, and we're going to look at how we build structure throughout, okay? And then we're going to look at how we can put it into play for each different category of guy that's here. Make sense? Does that sound good to everyone? Is everyone with me so far? Everyone up for this? Is this exactly what maybe you need, whether you're already a client of mine already, if you're not a client of mine, type of thing that we need to be kind of getting our heads into, all right? Listen, the other thing that I want to say is that you might not necessarily agree with everything that I say, right? To give you some idea, we've helped over 10,000 guys. So I've been in and around men's behavior, men's thought process, men's minds for the last 5-6 years doing Man Coach, and probably another further 5 or 6 years beforehand in an elite military environment. So I really do have at least 10 to 12 years worth of experience of this, working with other people and understanding people and their behavior. And really take the nuggets, take what you need and implement them, okay? So the first thing that I want to introduce you to is this guy here on top of the mountain, okay? Sketchy picture, I know, but this guy at the top of the mountain is really the visual implementation that you need to put into your head, okay? It's really, really important because this is what we're aiming for. And we call this guy the elite operator. So for some of you that already work with me, you will know about this elite operator mentality, this elite operator guy who thinks, eats and breathes an elite mentality. So when we're an elite operator, it means that we're connecting with the people that we love the most. And that's what's really important. If you're a family guy and you've got a wife or you've got a partner, it's making sure that we're connected to them and they're not getting forgotten. and that you are managing and leading yourself so that you're meeting her needs as well. If you are a father, it's making sure that we're not getting face sucked into this, and we're actually paying attention to our children and painting a positive picture, making sure that they are learning from us. And when we are this elite operator and we have this mentality, we can connect much better with the people that we love. We're a much better version of ourselves, right? So we're kind of painting a picture of what we want to achieve. We then thrive. When we're this dude here, we thrive within our career, or if you run a business, you thrive within your business because you have control of your vision about where your career is going, where your business is going. You thrive in terms of the elements of controlling your time, your energy, your focus, the balance between a professional life and a personal life. We don't get things perfect. It's not all perfect and roses here, right? It's all about understanding, excuse me, it's all about understanding self-awareness and understanding what's happening in our lives and the things that are triggering us, but being able to thrive with lots of energy and lots of drive. It means that we become committed. So we're committed to ourselves. That's the first and foremost thing, that one of the things I'm going to teach you today is understanding that you are the priority. You are number one. If you want to be the number one for your kids, or the number one for your wife, or the number one for your business, or the number one for your body, you have to make sure that your brain, your state of mind is taken care of, and you must be committed to yourself, okay? And committed with the time, energy, and focus. And then the last thing is building that awareness. Okay, I'm going to teach you a little bit about that on this training as well. It's about being aware of your surroundings, of your environment, what you're thinking about, catching the overthinking, catching the low self-belief, and making sure that we understand what's going on around us. And when we're here up at the top, we're away from the fog and we're clear on what we're doing with our time, energy, and focus. All right, guys? Does everyone like the sounds of this dude here? Okay, this type of dude is what hopefully every single one of you is kind of looking to work towards, right? So you're all here because maybe you're not this yet, and this is the dude that you want to be, right? So this is who we want to be, okay? This is probably where we are, all right? This is probably where we are. Now, I had a bit of banter with my 5-year-old the other day, and she said, "Oh, you're mean." And I said, "I'm not mean, I'm just truthful." And now, the unfortunate side of things is that when we face the truth, when we have to confront the truth about where we are, it can seem quite mean, but it's just a little bit of tough love, because you're the mother of all awareness, of all self-awareness, is when you confront yourself in the mirror and you are honest with yourself about who you are and where you are in your life right now. So if you are, excuse the terminology, a bag of shit right now, okay, and you are not showing up and you are full of shit and you've got the same bullshit excuses and you're spending money on shit that you don't need, and you're not investing in yourself, and you're not connecting with your wife, and you're not showing up as the father you need to be, or the business owner, and you are not willing to confront that version of you in the mirror, you will never move forward. Everything I talk about in here will be a complete waste of fucking time if you do not fucking confront that man in the mirror. And you must. And yes, it's a little bit mean, but it's the truth. And you must confront the truth if you want to be this dude. Okay? First truth bomb drop there, right? And it's true. So we are here. And for a lot of people, we might not like the word, but we're performing at an average level. So that means that you're an average operator. So you're performing at the average operator and you're at the bottom of the mountain, right? So here, you're an elite operator at the top. Here, you're an average operator. And what we're trying to do is get to the top. And I'll put these 2 arrows here. And this here, right, this dictates usually our cycle. We start climbing up the mountain and then we fucking fall straight back down it, right? We climb up and we straight fall back down. And what ends up happening is that we start a cycle, or New Year's is a classic example. We start something and then we fall off the wagon and we slip, right? We build up, we fall down, we build up, and this continues, goes round. And what I put here is all of these X's, and these are all hardships that we face. So if we want to handle hardship better, we've got to be able to overcome these crosses. So let's have a look at what those crosses are. And by the way, I've only been speaking the truth 4 minutes and 5 people dropped off the training. Do you know what I mean? So there are external hardships okay? And then there are internal, okay? Internal. So internal are hardship, are the excuses that you make, okay? The excuses that you make. Now, you will make multiple excuses. You'll make excuses why you can't go to the gym. You'll make excuses why you can't turn your phone off. You'll make excuses and blame other people for the place that you're at right now. Wherever you are in life, it is your responsibility for being there. Even if something's happened externally, it's your responsibility how you handle that situation, okay? COVID, it's our responsibility how we handled that, okay? If we look at the cost of living, it's external hardship, but it's our responsibility how we handle that. It's up to us if we're going to walk around moping, complaining about it, or if we're going to thrive and overcome it and actually do something through it, because that's what creates character. That's what creates a leader, right? By overcoming that hardship. Perception of life, your perception of how your life is. So you almost become what you feel, you almost become what you think. So if you constantly keep identifying yourself with being anxious, if you keep saying that you're anxious, if you keep saying I'm feeling depressed, then you will tend to go down those paths of that's what you feel. Some of you might be clinically depressed. Some of you might be diagnosed with that. But the way that we get out of that is by not identifying with ourselves, by keep saying it. It's by identifying a much more positive outlook on the life. It's your responsibility. How do we get out of there? We can't stay in that pot of sharks. What we have to do is find a way out. Then we have limiting beliefs. So limited beliefs are the hardship. So you are constantly limiting what you feel that you can achieve and how you can achieve it and the hardship that you face. Okay, these are things that stop you progressing. And it feels like hard in your mind, hard in your life, hardship. Okay. Self-belief, your own self-belief in you about what you can achieve based on maybe your childhood, based on people maybe telling you that you're shit, based on you maybe telling yourself that you're shit for a long time, based on maybe your own opinion, overthinking. Self-pity, man, a lot of people wallow in their own shit and in that self-pity. And, you know, it doesn't really benefit anybody because we carry that around with us and we take that home with us and we take that into work with us and the world's doom and gloom. Okay? And that is hardship. We're creating more hardship for ourselves with these mentalities, right? This is an internal job. Then we have low self-awareness. So we don't really necessarily recognize that reflection in the mirror. Maybe we don't recognize that we're moaning and we're complaining all the time. Maybe we don't recognize the way that we identify ourselves. So we've got to connect with ourselves more frequently so that we can understand ourselves better. Okay, so that we understand that awareness. Does that all make sense to everybody so far? So this is kind of like, and obviously I could fill this board up with different hardships, but these are some of the ones that we really face on a day-to-day basis. These are some of the most common hardships that men find internally, right? And then externally, just a couple of examples here, right? So work, I know that one of the guys was saying that he was suspended today at work, right? So that's external. There's nothing you can do that, but you're responsible for how you handle that, okay? The government, yes, that's completely out of our hands. I don't literally get involved in any politics. I don't pay any attention to what's going on with the news. Anything that's being said, there's nothing I can do about the train strikes. There's no point in moaning about the train strikes. There's no point in moaning about the rise in corporate tax or interest rates, because all I would do is manifest myself in pity and become bogged down. Then I become depressed. Then I become stressed. Then I become frustrated. Then I distract myself from wanting to be the version of me. Whatever is placed in front of me is the thing that I need to show up and lead myself to deal with, handle it, adapt and overcome, make a plan, build structure around it, and get the fuck on with it. And that's what we've got to try and build. Okay. Other people, like another thing, we can't. So one of the things that frustrates me about my job is that I see so much potential in every guy, every single man, but yet every single man is not ready to show up for themselves. And then sometimes I sit here and I'm thinking, fuck, I give more of a fuck about you than you do about yourself. But then I get frustrated that people drop out simply because I use a couple of bad words, bad language, I swear, because I'm passionate. And people won't follow through on changing their lives, which could save their marriage, stop them committing suicide, stop them drinking, save their business, save their career, because I'm a bit sweary. Do you know what I mean? Or they just don't feel it's the right time, or they think, oh my God, you're only in it for this, or you're in it for that. And I can't control other people. What I do is go, here's my flag. If you like what we do, you come in. If you don't, then you leave. And that's what we get. And that's one of the things that I can't control. So part of leading me is going, can't control him not being involved, can't control him leaving the group, can't control that person and what they criticizing me about, can't control this. Like, do you know what I mean? Even people that do show up and invest in the program, I can only do 50%, me and the team. We can only provide the training, the accountability, the support, everything we need. We need that guy to meet us here. Okay. So again, other people, and then money. So money is kind of in between what you can control and externally. And I find that a lot of the time, having done a bit of investigation into our own group, that people don't manage the money the way that it should be managing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like budgeting. It's like thinking about how much money is in your account. If you don't have enough money, then create a side hustle to make more money. If your job doesn't pay you enough, then find a skill that's going to get you a higher paid job. So always, instead of complaining about the situation, let's create a fucking plan so we can get around it. Okay, so all of these things here, okay, are hardships. And these are all of the things that become the block to stopping us getting to the top of that mountain to be this dude here. Okay, is everyone with me so far before I move on? Okay, before we get to the stuff of how we handle this. Okay, so see these arrows here? They're all pointing to this square, this rectangle right here. This is your brain. This is your state of mind. Quite often we call this the fort. Okay, and a fort is, if you think, got the four corners, and people live in it and they fortify it, and they try to make it really, really structured and secure in terms of like a defense, an all-round defense. Okay, so in our four corners and our front gate here, we need to make sure that we fortify and make this stronger, because what happens is all of these things that I've just gone through, they seep into your state of mind. So like poison, okay, it comes in. And what happens when it comes in? You become angry, you become frustrated, you become stressed, you become distracted. You go into that Groundhog Day mentality, you go into zombie mode, and you do everything that moves you away from this here. And then when it gets too much here, this is when we start going to the gym. This is when we then start, this is when we start eating shit. This is when we start drinking too much. This is when we stop communicating with people. This is when we don't open up and talk to people. So we go into this depressive, anxious state where we just go, fuck the world. Yeah. And I'm sure that a lot of you can resonate with that. So that's how hardship affects your mind. And when it affects your mind, it affects your outcome. So we need to make sure that we build this up. And we build it up by using 5 key pillars. Right here, we've got health, fun, relationships, personal development, and business. And for me, they're all key pillars that make up life, that make up the life that we have. And they're all the things that are included in everything that we do. So we must fortify this fort. We must make sure that we are strong enough mentally, resilient, to be able to block this out and handle this. So how do we do that? So what we've got here are 6 key fundamentals, values, principles that I teach in our programs, in our memberships, in our ongoing Elite Brotherhood, to ensure that our brain is becoming conditioned and strong enough to handle hardship. Now, if you think about this in something in a little bit more common that you can visualize, if I set you a 12-week gym program where we did deadlifts, squats, chest press, bicep curls, and you just went to the gym for 12 weeks, you would harden your body. Your muscles would be hardened, your body would be stronger, your posture would be better. You're conditioning your body with weights, right? But what we're doing here is conditioning your brain. Now, your brain is muscle, just like your bicep. And what we need to make sure we do is work that muscle. We need to condition that muscle. We need to get it doing reps. We need to have a program in place. And when we have that program in place, this becomes stronger. So let me just go through these six key principles. We're doing for time. Cool. So number one is progression. We need to feel progression. There has to be consistency with your progression. So it doesn't have to be huge progression. It doesn't have to be massive progression like most of men think that has to be. I have to go to the gym. I have to get my diet right. I have to square away my business. I have to move my business, my career forwards. I'm trying to do it all, spinning all these plates. Because what ends up happening is your expectations are up here. So this is what you expect of yourself. But actually where you are, your level of conditioning is here. So there is this huge deficit, okay, between where you are and what you want to achieve. You are not conditioned to achieve the expectations that you set here. And people get a little bit ratty about this because they go, oh, you should aim for the stars. You should be aiming big. And the problem with aiming big is that we just fall on disappointment, because if I asked you to walk into the gym and you hadn't done the gym and I said to you, pick up that 200 kilogram deadlift, you would have no fucking chance in doing it. And that's exactly what's happening here, right? You are here and this is where you want to be. We need to bring those expectations down to here. So when you walk into the gym to visualize this, I'm asking you just to lift the bar to start with. No weights on. Let's work on the technique. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we do 4 weeks worth of technique. Bang. Let's stick 10 on either side. So the next 28 days, we're going to work on 1% better. And we're going to put 10 on either side. And then on the third month, we're going to put 25 on either side. So we're building up over a period of time. And I hope that in your mind, that visually helps you. That this 1% progression, that's all we're doing. Every single day you show up and you wake up, you've got to find that minimum requirement of 1% a day, which, by the way, is 14 minutes, 30 seconds in a 24-hour period. So 14 minutes, 30 seconds in a day. So if you did something for 14 minutes over a day, 24-hour period, that benefited you, that developed you, whether it's a workout, a podcast, a journal blog, an accountability post, a date night, whatever it might be. If you did that every day, 24/7, 365, you would feel progression and you would build that brain up, just like if you did bicep curls for 14 minutes every single day. Make sense? The next one is 4 C's. So 4 C's are the fundamentals to showing up, okay? So we have consistency of action, okay? We have control of your time, your energy, and your focus. Time, energy, and focus. They are your key things that we need to control. Then there is the clarity of where are you going and how are you getting there, i.e. building a mission/vision. And then the last C is the commitment to yourself. Okay, there has to be commitment. So if I asked you right now, if I said to you right now, what C is missing for you to be able to show up right now? So when you're not showing up and you look at the way that you're living your life, look at the habits that you're running, look at the structure, look at the systems, look at your relationship, look at your health. What is missing out of those C's? And then when you kind of look at that equation like a square, you can figure out what C is missing, or there might be more than one C. And you go, right, that's what I need to work on over these next 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. All right, so if you're missing consistency and clarity, right, let's keep the other 2 going and let's work on finding clarity, finding consistency. And consistency comes from not trying to do too much too soon. And if this 1% progression, it's a lot easier to be more consistent running 2 miles a day for 30 days than half a marathon every day for 30 days, right? If I asked you to be consistent running half a marathon, could all of you do it for 30 days? I probably reckon 2% of you could. But if I asked you to run 2 miles for 30 days, man, you could only achieve that. Does that make sense? Okay, so number 3 here is SRS. SRS SRS stands for structure, routine, and systems. So we find structure, routine, and systems in everything we do. A morning routine, an evening routine, a gym routine, okay, whatever routine it is. The other C, so there's consistency, there's control, there's clarity, and commitment. Okay. So we must find SRS in everything that we do. Okay, and some of the things that we teach on our Elite 28 is about being consistent with your accountability. Okay, if you're consistent with your accountability, you raise your levels of review, which then raises your game of your awareness, and then that raises your game of decision making, and it's like this knock-on effect. Okay, so structure, routine, and system. Number 4 is your mission/vision. Mission/vision. And this is about knowing where you're going. So for some of you who are working with me, and if you've worked with me over 6 months, you'll have an understanding about where you're going to be over the next 3 to 5 years, maybe even up to 10 years. If you've never worked with me, then your vision and mission would be about what can I achieve in the first 28 days? Okay, that's it. So you can see where the different levels of conditioning are, right? So people that have worked with me have been doing the training, working with me, building the fundamentals. So they're a little bit stronger mentally to be able to understand how to plan out that 3 to 5 years. Even though they're probably beating themselves up that it's not right, they understand roughly where they want to be. Whereas somebody who's just coming into my world, okay, they wouldn't be conditioned. They'd be like, how the fuck do I go and plan a 3 to 5 years from now? For them, it's all about the immediate 1%. So where do I want to be in 28 days? Okay. It's relevant to your level of conditioning. Awareness, which we've spoken about quite a lot, okay, understanding your awareness, and then your character and resilience, okay? This is what is really important because it is the process. It is the process. If you are just aiming for a destination, you're just going to get to that destination, and then as soon as we hit that destination, we end up then becoming complacent, okay? So this is what happens quite a lot with people. They build up to run a marathon or a half marathon. They do that half marathon or marathon. And then guess what? They don't do fuck all for about 6 months. They don't do anything. Why? Because they've become complacent. They've reached a goal. It's about what's next. Process over destination all the time. The process is forever. The process will be continued until you die. And through that process, you're going to learn, you're going to fail, you're going to gain wisdom and experience. And that's what building character and resilience is, because you will come across failure. But how do you handle failure? Okay. It's really important to understand that character and resilience is built through a process. And that process is designed to test you. It's designed to do the things that maybe you're not ready to do right now, i.e., do morning reviews, get up an hour earlier in the morning, go to the gym more consistently. It's going to be hard. Like, you can look at every fucking program on the planet and you go, wow, that looks good. And looking for the easiest route through, the easiest route through is not going to teach you anything about yourself. It's going to be a fad. Okay, that's why like things like Juice Plus or fucking Herba shit are no good for you, because all you're going to do is drink fucking shakes. Then when you get bored of that, you then going to start figuring out how to sustain a normal diet. But you're not really learning anything by drinking juice or taking quick routes, or when you do anything else that is very quick or faddy about short-term fixes. It's all about that long-term process. It's about building the process. You have to put yourself through a little bit of hardship to overcome hardship, i.e. I go in a cold shower, I do sea dips, if I can run 2 marathons in 3 days, because I like to put myself through that fucking bullshit. I love to put myself mentally through it, because the stronger I become mentally, the easier I get to control all of these elements right here, right? And that's how we build that character and resilience. Make sense? We'll just have a quick drink here. All right. So let's look at this as a big battle. All right. Look at this as a big battle. It's these elite principles and foundations and fundamentals versus all of the bullshit that we're having to contend with. All right. So this, when we practice this, guys, when we practice this affects our state of mind and our brain just like this does, but this is the positive stuff. What happens when we do this over a period of time, and it won't always be perfect, there'll be highs, there'll be lows, there'll be confusions, there'll be wanting to quit, there'll be like all of the stuff, all the normal human emotions that we go through, all right? Nobody's exempt from them, not even me. SOM is state of mind. All of this continually coming in, what it does is builds this fort. Okay. So like I said to you, a fort is kind of a place where you want to go and be protective. Bang. Can you see the difference in that picture now? Okay. The difference in that picture is that these walls are a lot thicker. So when all of these things happen, when we make excuses, when we have those limiting beliefs, when we self-doubt ourselves, when we get suspended at work, or when something happens in our business that's a bit of a drama, or when the government put in other policies, what ends up happening is that it all travels towards your conditioning, but it just bounces off. Because you have become this elite operator, you have worked on these principles here, and that has strengthened your mind to be able to handle all of this shit. And it's like a force field around your mind. And sometimes, because we're here about reality, right? Sometimes some of this shit will get into your head. Sometimes it will. But what changes, and the thing that's changing because you're doing this, is you have this little light switch inside of your head. And sometimes you suddenly then catch the hardship or the bullshit that's happening here. Man, you catch it and you go, motherfucker, you are not getting in there. And you catch it and you handle it, you manage it, you look at it, you put it into perspective, and you throw it back out of your mind. And that is the beauty of working yourself. And you can do that because you're working on yourself. Now, in the early stages, it's going to be a lot harder to do that. It's going to be a lot harder to do that. But over 28 days, over then 4 months, over then 6 months, and over a year, this gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And what you stop doing, you stopped acting so irrationally. Stopped acting emotionally. Stop making emotional decisions. Stop being rash. Stop being short with everybody else. And you become a lot calmer. One of the things that a lot of guys that I work with talk about is how much calmer they feel. Now, I don't feel that everybody is calm all of the time, because some stuff gets through, right? Some stuff today got through into my head, and it completely distracted me. It took me about an hour to bring it back because it was just a curveball. That's just real life. It came out of nowhere. It was unexpected. And then we can handle that. And then we just, right, we're back on track, and we'll wake up tomorrow and we go again. Okay. Cool. Wes, you are definitely not calm. So this is how we handle hardship. Okay. This is how we handle hardship in 2023. This is how we get to the place that we want to get to in 2023. This is how we lead us to lead everybody else around us. Okay. This is how we make the difference in our life. Not just for the short game, but for the rest of your life. If you're a 35-year-old man, you probably have 40 to 45 years left. So what you have to do is look at this as an investment as time and energy into how you spend the rest of your life. If you're a 45-year-old guy, you've probably got maybe 35 to 40 years left as well. But the time and energy that you put into yourself will pay you back as you get older and you move through life, because I feel that hardship is making men live the life that they don't want to. They're falling into this pit of self-pity, of overwhelm, of overthinking. Overthinking one of being the biggest one, but it's really important to understand what hardship is doing to us and how it is affecting our overall performance in life. How this then affects our relationships. So that there are marriages that are failing because guys are burying their head in the sand. There are guys who are drinking themselves under the table because they don't know how to handle this. There are guys who are face sucking the life out of social media looking for the answer on here. There are guys who are letting other people's actions dictate their actions. and we're falling at the wayside. Now, one thing that I haven't mentioned, that kind of glues all of this together is discipline. Now, discipline is the glue that holds everything together. Excuse me. Discipline is doing what you know you have to do, but don't necessarily feel like doing. So when you don't feel like something, it's still having the character and the resilience to be able to show up and do it. Like, I can imagine that a lot of people come out of New Year and they've gone, some of you are on my Elite 7, you've come into that Elite 7 program, you probably don't feel like showing up, you probably don't feel like going to the gym, or maybe you do. But in another 2 or 3 weeks, there might be that time when you think, oh, I might just take tonight off. But taking just tonight off means that probably you're going to probably take the next 2 weeks off, maybe the next 3 weeks. Discipline is about when that alarm goes off, not pressing snooze, but actually getting straight up and getting out and doing what you said you were going to do. And it's the connection between saying what you're going to do and doing what you're going to do. And the people that are most successful, who have ever come through and worked with me or in my programs, are the people that are in this position and they say that they want to achieve this, and they go through this whole process here, and they're still showing up to achieve that. That's discipline, because they've got that in their head, right? The people that don't are the people that say they want to do it. They get to about here, something happens, and then they go straight back to there. If you look at my Elite 7 program, which is our free trial, if you look at my Elite 5-day challenge, which is our free 5-day course, I see the same faces coming through. Always repeat. I just need a hit. I just like a drug, like a drug addict or an alcoholic or a sex addict. Just gonna have one more life. Just gonna have one more drink. And they keep coming back, because what is end up happening is that the discipline's not there. The discipline of accountability, the discipline of action, the discipline of consistency, the discipline of doing what you said you were going to do. So I kind of need that hit. And the problem is with that is that you don't ever build consistency, because you only ever get to this level. You get to this level, you go back, you do some free training, you come to here, and then they go back. And 9 out of 10 guys who ever come back through to us and end up joining us go, I wish I'd done this 3 years ago. Okay, and this is what I was talking about. I can't control other people. People have to understand that for themselves. They have to go through that process that builds character and resilience and awareness. They have to have a mission and vision. And you have to understand that there's a lot of 1% wins here, but then we just stop because the discipline goes out the window. Not everybody is born with discipline. Discipline is a muscle. Discipline is something that we build. A good example of building discipline is getting the chocolate bar that you love the most, sticking it on your computer desk in front of you, and making sure you don't eat it for a whole 5 days. And then on the Friday night, you reward yourself with that chocolate bar. And every time you look at it, you're like, man, I just want to get into that. I just want that. Or every time, something that we used to do in the military. So when we were in the gym in the military, we used to like beast the lads, and then they'd all be sweating in 3 ranks in front of us. They'd be sweating, and you just want to like, oh, sweat and scratch. And they weren't allowed to scratch. We were just standing up to attention here. And the discipline was that don't scratch. You're not allowed to scratch. And as much as you want to scratch, you just can't. Because it might be that one movement in Afghanistan or something that cost somebody their lives. And it's building that discipline. So for you, it's just going, don't, just because you're 20 minutes late leaving work, don't accept that excuse not to show the discipline to go to the gym and do what you said you were going to do. Just because you feel a little bit tired and it's cold and it's wet, don't fail at the discipline of pressing snooze. Because the alternative feeling to not showing up is feeling shitty, is having to face the consequences, having to look at yourself in the eye, in the mirror and go, fucking hell, fucked up again, didn't I? When you break that streak, it's a really shit feeling. Like, who has that feeling? I have had that feeling. Like, I have had that feeling, and I'm just like, motherfucker, fucking failed. Yeah, and it's horrible. And it is fucking horrible. So I would rather have more of this. And that's why I show up. You know, we've got to understand the reason that we want to lead ourselves. We've got to understand the reason that we want to lead ourselves. Like, I want to lead myself on a personal level for my wife and my 4 kids, and most importantly, for my own self-respect. It doesn't matter that I'm 44 years old. I want to be this active. I want this much energy. I want to be working until I'm fucking 80. I have no intention of ever retiring. I just fucking want to get out there and get on it. And that's why I need to lead myself. I must make sure I go to the gym to get the energy. I must make sure I keep training myself. I must make sure I keep learning new things about to do the business, right? And then on the professional front, I want to lead you guys. So I can't be one of those fucking coaches who talks about a good game and never does anything. So I have to show people what hardship looks like. So every now and then I think, fuck it, I'm going to do 2 marathons in 3 days and show people that it can be done. You know, I'm going to get in the sea. I'm going to do the cold showers. I'm going to share like my own struggles about my suicide thoughts last year. So people realize that actually, this is fucking real life. This is not a fucking game. Do you know what I mean? And it's what's really important. So you have to have that same passion to lead yourself. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Cool, we're doing well for time. We are doing well for time. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do here, this won't necessarily apply to everyone, but I'm going to do a really, really, really quick summary. So this is maybe where we are, average operator. This is what we're trying to achieve, being the elite operator. When we're here, we get to connect, thrive, commit, and be much more aware about our lives and everything that's going on, okay? Here, we looked at all the hardships, all of the things that were stopping us getting to the place that we want to get, all of these things that are stopping us getting to the top of the mountain. The thing that dictates it all is our state of mind, okay? It's this big battle between all hardship and key principles. Key principles are the 1% progression, the 4 C's, consistency, control, clarity, and commitment. SRS, structure, routine, and systems, mission and vision, awareness, and character resilience. And this is what we work on, okay? This is what we work on to build that state of mind, okay? To make sure that we block out everything that's going on here or manage it better, manage our emotions better. Okay, so this next part will really only apply for people that are not working with us, okay? So if you kind of feel like you want to come into our world and you want to join some of the guys that are in here right now, doing a bit of top-up training, and you want to come and join us on our next Elite 28-day program, we start on Monday. So who would want to do this program? Somebody that would want to drastically improve the way that they run their life, manage their life, somebody that would want to be around like-minded men, somebody that would want to connect more with their partners, build more structure, understand themselves better, understand their emotions, understand their decision-making, manage their overthinking. So I think it really is about you getting to this guy here, all right? So the Elite 28 Days is about handling these things here better, knowing where you are. We call it the resurrection. And the resurrection is about getting out of that pool that you're in, where we're stuck in this average operator. And it's about getting the ladder and starting to climb out and starting to climb the mountain and overcoming some of the hurdles, okay, to be this guy, to get to this place here. And along the way, there's all the good jazz that you would expect from a program. There's accountability, there's weekly coaching with me on the Zoom call. There's modules to follow. There's accountability, which I think I've already said, sorry. There's fitness programs in there. There's nutrition programs in there. So there's workouts for you to follow, and there are nutrition plans in there for you to follow if you want to, with some other bits and pieces on how to manage your calories as well. For me, where I want you to be, the place that I want you to be after the 28 days, plus a bonus week. So it's a 5-week course, guys. So next week is a pre-course to introduce you to our app. We don't need any social media for this course. Is that I want you to be in much more control of your emotions. I want you to feel like you're waking up and thriving in your life rather than facing Groundhog Day. I want you to feel like your connection with your wife, your partner, or your kids is much stronger. I want you to at least be half a stone to a stone lighter just through having structure, systems, and routine. I want you to have a lot more self-respect for yourself. I want you to have more confidence and belief in yourself. And I want you to feel like you're progressing. I want you to feel like you're achieving something. And I want you to get to the very end of that and go, do you know what? There are ups and downs, but man, I'm in a much better place than I was before. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is in the chat here, I'm just going to put the link. Oh, that's not the link, is it? So there's the link, guys. So if you copy and paste that link right now, what I'll do is open up to questions right now. Those on the 28th day, those on the 28th day, do we need to stay on? No. So the 28th day, I don't know what you mean by that, Justin. See you on the 1st of Feb, email, I'll email John Talbot, already registered, awesome, Carl. Oh no, you don't need to stay in this call. No. This has nothing to do with the Elite 28-day course. This is just like a bonus training for you, and it will put you in a really good state of mind in terms of the course starting next week. All right, guys. So the offer closes on Sunday night. It's risk-free. If you don't like it after 2 weeks and you're showing up for 2 weeks and it's not doing anything for you, we'll just give you your money back. Okay. SRS is structure, routine, and systems. Does it cover trauma and PTSD? Not directly. So it will help with those two things for sure, because what it does is it helps you understand your own mind better and actually puts you into a place of control. The journals are £34. You can get that on the website, www.boardmanjames.com. How long does it take to get used to getting up an hour earlier? It's different for everyone. How long's a piece of string, you know? For people that really get the benefit of it, like, man, they get used to it within a week. All right. Some people takes a couple of weeks. Man, you don't even have to necessarily get up an hour early to start with. Get up half an hour to start with, right? And then slowly progress and build that. You know, I used to get up at fucking 7, now get up at 4:15, and I go to bed at 9 o'clock, for those that will ask. Thanks, Justin. Great to see you. Look forward to seeing you next week. Do we buy? Oh, look at that. Lost that question. Sorry, I had to go suddenly. A family member. Oh my God, Carl. Sorry to hear that, mate. You don't have to have the journal for the course, but if you want to, you can get the journal. Can recommend, remember the mission. Cool. What happens after the 28 days? So if you show up at the 28 days, you'll then be offered the next progression course, which is the Elite 90, which is all about building the fundamentals. That's a 12-week program. That's really only an invite only. You must make sure and show us that you can show up in the Elite 28, or at least show that you're willing. If you don't show up at all, then you won't be offered a place. Yeah. So there's always continuous trainings. There's 4 phases. Phase 1 is this is the insight, what we're doing right now. Phase 2 is the resurrection, Elite 28. Phase 3 is the Elite 90, which is the fundamentals and building the fundamentals. And then phase 4, which is the embedding phase. Okay. The embedding phase is very much about what we do in the Elite Brotherhood, the membership, continuing the training. We do lots and lots of focus training. We do two a month, where we get 60 to 80 guys up on Zoom, and we do big training as well. So it's continuous training all of the time. Sometimes we evolve the training, but it's just making sure that people are on top of their game. The journal is the structure. Love it. Boom, boom, boom. Thanks again, JB. Anytime, Simon. Great to hear from you. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate that. I've got a question. We'll message you afterwards. This has been amazing. Anytime, Jamie. If you need to message me, guys, the best platform is my email, me@boardmanjames.com. I am going to bed after this, so it will be tomorrow when I get back to you. me@boardmanjames.com. me@boardmanjames.com. Can you speak a little more about morning routines, please? Yeah, we'll do that at the end. Okay, David, no worries. Our payment plan's available. So the reason we don't do a payment plan here, guys, for this course, this is the only course we don't do a payment plan, is because it's such a short period of time that when we asked, what we used to do is ask for a payment up front, and then by the time it comes to halfway through the course, most people completely and utterly did not pay or follow up, even though they were showing up and still doing the course, the cheeky bastards. So we have a policy now of just no payment plan for such a short course, because people fucked us over, basically. So sorry about that. I'll send you their address and you can fill them in. I am only joking. Can you post the email on here? Yeah, let me just write it in. me@boardmanjames.com. There you go, it's up. And then there's the link again for the Elite 28. I think somebody asked me for that again. Boom. I'll email you. Big love to you and the family, bros. Thanks, David. Can you post email? I've just done that one. What would you say the time frame is to get from here to embedding phase? So the 28 days, obviously, it's a 5-week course. Then the 12-week course, so that's 3, that's 4. So 4.5 months before you get to the embedding phase. Okay, embedding phase. Can we stay on the app if we don't sign on? No, unfortunately not. So those that are not staying on with us will be taken out of the app on Monday, as the app is all of the content, training, focus, accountability, and support. That is what you invest in. Look forward to, but you can follow me on social media, YouTube, Facebook, and all the other free stuff that we do. They're constantly doing. We do the Rise to Thrive show. So if you're about tomorrow morning at 5:30, if you go to the Man Coach Facebook page, you can follow my morning shows. I do the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 5:30 in the morning. I've been doing them for the last 4 years. That's lots of free coaching there. And you can follow me on Instagram, the Man Coach, as well. Will I gain as much from the Elite 28-day course? Or I'm not coming from a low place. It appears like most are using the course as a tool to pull themselves out of a low place. Hope that's no. So Scott, it's definitely not necessarily designed to bring anyone from anywhere. It's designed to elevate a particular individual's performance to an elite level. So you might be a business owner. You might feel absolutely fine, not feeling depressed. You're not feeling like anxious. You're not going through any of that, but you just want to elevate how you show up as an individual. That's exactly what we're looking to do. This course is for ambitious guys who are looking to get the absolute most out of themselves. I hope that makes sense, Scott. Will I be affected much by the time zone difference in Australia? We've had a couple of guys from Australia join us, and I don't think that they really had any issues or problem with it. So on the coaching sessions, they're 11 o'clock in the morning, but a lot of guys actually watch them back. So you can always watch them back. I don't believe it will, is my answer, Dave. We're actually going to be pushing Australian men from June actually this year. So we're going to be looking to bring more Aussies in, and their dry sense of humor. I love it. Thanks, Colin. Let's get through here. Thanks, JP. How much are the other courses? So the Elite 90 is 750, and then the Elite Brotherhood membership is 125 currently. And then we've got my Elite Squad, but you guys need to have done a lot more before joining that one. So that's like a private sort of small group coaching session. As ever, it's been a great session. Thanks, Richard. Really appreciate it. Thanks, bro. Thanks, MW. Thanks, Tom. Thanks for the text and heads up as well. I've just seen it. Even though the money is tight, I'll always. So here's the thing about money, right, guys? And money being one of the biggest constraints for people doing this. If you go to your January statement of last year and look at how much money you spent on shit that you didn't need. If you look at the last 2 months, Christmas probably making it a little bit out there. But if you look at October, November, December, look at how much money. Go through your statement. Look how much money you spent on Amazon, or on coffee, or McDonald's, or takeaways, or meals, or beer, or booze, and add it all up. The course is roughly around just over £5 a day. So I looked at the cost of this course and thought, how much money do people usually spend? Like, I will go into a supermarket in Tesco's. I did a bit of market research, and I was watching for about 15 minutes in the morning between 8 and 9, and I looked at how many people come through and bought a meal deal from Tesco's. That's £3. So then they're easily going to spend probably another £3 on a coffee. So all in all, people spend roughly around on takeaways, Cokes, chocolate, food, shit they don't need, anywhere between £6 and £10. If you cut that bullshit out and actually planned your meals the night before, you could probably afford to invest in yourself. And that's what I say to people who feel money's tight. It's really about managing that money and managing where that money's going. So sometimes that can help. I hope that helps. Enjoy that half marathon. When will the confirmation email come through, i.e. the application form? So give 24 hours. So once you complete your application form, give 24 hours. If you complete your application form tonight, no doubt John, who is our operations manager, will be in touch with you to set you up, to get you through, to make sure you're a good fit, and we get you in. Okay, so as soon as you're in, as soon as you're registered, we get you in the app. Next week is about getting your head around the app, doing some pre-work so that we are ready to go Monday week. Okay. A little refresher for me. Good man, Steve. Good to hear from you. Start the move 100%. Thanks. Seems like a no-brainer investment. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that. Thanks, David. JB completed the 28 days. When is the next 90 starting? I'd like to apply. We're going to forward it 100%. So the next 90, bro, is mid-February. I think it's just after half term. So you can apply. There's all of the information of our courses on the website, www.boardmanjames.com. Okay. Approximately how much time we would need to invest on the Elite 28 day? 15 to 20 minutes. Like probably not even that. A lot of the work that you do is in your head. So we put out the modules, you'll think a lot about it, and you'll probably spend about 5 to 10 minutes a day putting up your accountability and putting up your answers. There's one live coaching session a week, which is about 30 minutes. But if you can't make that live, you can watch that back. So it's designed to manage around your lives, okay? So that it doesn't overtake your lives. Or realize that everyone's got busy lives. Gonna need to head. All the best. Thanks, Stuart. Appreciate it. When will the next 28 day be after this? March. I think March. Yeah, March. Are there courses throughout the year? Yes, there are. Yes, there are. I think that's it. All right. So, guys, thank you so much. I honestly, genuinely appreciate you showing up here and trusting you to be here, lads. If you are members and you've come in, let me know what you think in the Elite Brotherhood. Put a little bit of feedback, maybe the number one thing you got from this. Hope to see some of you on the other side, ready to get to work next week, ready to put your fucking ready to get rid of this guy, start being this guy here, start getting to the place where you want to be, right? And start leading yourselves, and with commitment, with resilience, you'll overcome all that hardship and get to the place you want to be. Definitely. All right, guys. All the best. Thank you so much.